It up, shot won't fall. Wilson, what looks like over the back. Well,
Oh boy.
jump ball is the call.
Wow. Stephanie White's upset about that. That was over the back. Wow. Watch this. That's a jump ball?
So apparently, that chaotic moment on the court was officially ruled a jump ball at least. That's what the official score sheet claims. You know, the one where Lexie Hull executed a perfect box out, standing her ground just as every coaching manual teaches, only to have A'ja Wilson come crashing over her back, flailing at the ball. According to the referees, this was somehow considered a 50-50th ball. But let's be real, you saw it. The broadcast crew was stunned into silence. Coaches were on the verge of losing their minds. And for the thousands of fans watching from home, that moment solidified a growing suspicion into an undeniable truth. This wasn't just another missed call. It was the spark that ignited a powder keg of frustration. It served as a clear snapshot of a deeper issue, something that players and coaches have been quietly venting about behind closed doors for months. And thanks to one viral clip, the floodgates have burst wide open, with louder and more insistent calls for an official investigation now gaining traction. Despite the controversy, this game was a huge victory for the Indiana Fever. The Aces had been the only team the Fever failed to defeat at least once last season. In fact, Las Vegas had swept Indiana in 2023, and the Fever hadn't managed a single win against the Aces in their last 16 matchups. But all of that changed, Dan. They did it without Caitlin Clark. That alone is astonishing. This team has gone from knocking off the league's top-ranked team to finally toppling their longtime tormentors. And all without their most high-profile player. It's a powerful testament to how this roster is finally finding its rhythm. The players are done staying silent, and the league is starting to notice, especially in light of the current collective bargaining agreement. You can see the frustration on the court in players' body language, in the sharp edge of their voices during interviews, and in coaches who are practically jumping out of their dress shoes in protest. This isn't just about one call, an unofficial uprising against a league that's allowed inconsistent, biased officiating to fester for far too long. Today, we're breaking down exactly how this one play became ground zero for a brewing rebellion. We'll use the league's own footage to show just how deeply this problem runs and explain why the WNBA is teetering on the edge of a credibility crisis it can't afford to ignore. If you're tired of the sugar-coated takes and want the raw, unfiltered truth, hit that like button and drop your thoughts on what you think about these corrupt officiating crews. Let's dive in. Now, let's rewind to the moment that broke the internet. And of course, it involves none other than A'ja Wilson. Seriously, did you see how many free throws she got? Just glance at the stat sheet, nearly 30 points. But a staggering chunk of that came from the charity stripe. They tried everything they could to keep the Aces in this game, but it just wasn't enough. The Fever finally demolished the Aces about time. And again, they did it without Caitlin Clark. Even the commentators professionals who usually tiptoe around referee criticism were clearly caught off guard, stumbling over their words as they tried to make sense of it in real time. Because, honestly, the play was basic basketball 101. Every young player learns this. Get between your opponent and the hoop. Hold your position and box out. That space belongs to you. Period. Lexie Hull nailed it. She sealed Wilson off, stood firm, and set herself up in perfect rebounding position. Meanwhile, Wilson didn't bother with any of that. She launched herself over Hull's shoulders, made obvious contact, and disrupted the play. That's the textbook definition of an over-the-back foul. 99 times out of 100, that's Fever ball. Simple, but not this time. Instead, the officials blew the whistle and called a jump baller decision. So absurd, so counter to the fundamentals of the game, it felt like reality glitched for a moment. This wasn't some judgment call living in the gray area. It was a clear-cut foul that magically transformed into a possession handout for the team that committed it, thanks to the possession arrow giving the ball right back to Las Vegas. Short, high-definition clip immediately became the symbol of every complaint fans have made about officiating this season. It wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was visual, undeniable proof. And even more troubling, it was just the most glaring example of something fans have quietly tracked for months. Let's talk about this defense, absolutely lights out. The difference was night and day. Maybe winning the Commissioner's Cup gave this team some swagger, because they were locked in. Natasha Howard was playing more aggressively than anyone's ever seen. She was dominating. Rookie Temi Fagbinal was swatting shots, grabbing steals, making her presence felt on every possession. And Aliyah Bosson, she was cooking, she was giving. A'ja Wilson, absolute hell in the paint. In fact, Wilson's new nickname among fans says it all. Whistle Wilson. Why? Because she's constantly getting the whistle. It's like she's got her own special referee assigned to her. Every single game, free throw after free throw. Someone even joked she must be related to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And despite all those whistles, Wilson wasn't playing that well. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, that moment turns into part of a larger and uglier pattern. This isn't just Twitter talk. Whistle Wilson has become its own grassroots tracking project. Hardcore WNBA fans have been meticulously logging her every minute, documenting each soft call and generous no call, and this game put the spotlight directly on it. Wilson took 13 free throws by herself. Meanwhile, the entire Indiana Fever squad 12 players across 4 quarters had just 17 total. Let that sink in. One player nearly matched the entire opposing team's free throw count. The Aces tried to spark a run early in the third quarter, but Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull shut that down fast. Cunningham only had 2 points all game, but they were huge. Hull came up with a critical steal that changed the momentum. Let's take a look. Aaliyah Boston gets the ball from Sydney Colson, drives straight into the paint, and just goes at A.J. Wilson. She gave her everything she could handle, and this wasn't just something the fans noticed. It was clear during the live broadcast. The commentators, usually careful not to stir the pot, couldn't help but acknowledge the one-sided whistles. One analyst bluntly stated, "They're trying to keep Vegas in it." Another nodded in agreement, tiptoeing around it but not denying the truth. Even the professionals couldn't hide the bias. They finally said what fans have felt all season: superstars like Wilson play under an entirely different set of rules. Wilson finished with 29 points, 3 rebounds, 3 personal fouls, and 3 turnovers. She went 9 for 18 from the field and a stunning 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, her teammates contributed next to nothing: 2 points, 2 points, 6 points, 0 points, 4 points, 2 points, 3 points, and Dana Evans, she went 1 for 10. That's right, 1 for 10. Still, Wilson kept getting the calls. Superstars get the whistle. The commentators muttered like it was just part of the game. But that kind of resignation is exactly what's eroding fan trust. When it starts to feel like the outcome depends on which player the refs decide to protect, it shakes the very foundation of what makes sports compelling: skill, passion, and fairness. That jump ball wasn't just a bad call. It was a chilling confirmation of what fans have feared, that the game might not be decided by performance on the court, but by who the officials favor. So now, we ask, do you believe in the special whistle? Drop your thoughts below. Let's see where everyone stands. Wilson pulled out all the moves: crossover, hang in the air, finish through contact. But then Lexie Hull responded for Indiana with a much-needed bucket. After a miss, Hull dove to the floor again, found Kelsey Mitchell in the corner splash. 3-pointer. Then Mitchell raced back down the court and added 2 more. Fever 57, Aces 38. 3:35 left in the third quarter. But here's where it all turns into something far bigger than a single play or even a single team. This wasn't just Indiana pushing back. This wasn't just Fever fans boiling over. The frustration spilled across both sidelines, including Las Vegas. That's right though. Team supposedly benefiting from all these questionable whistles was fed up too. Their head coach, Becky Hammon, made it crystal clear with her body language, alone, arms folded, eyes locked on the refs, visibly irritated. Even while her team appeared to be catching favorable calls, Hammon wasn't having it. During the post-game press conference, she didn't blame her players for struggling or failing to match Indiana's physicality. She didn't point to effort or execution. She pointed straight at the officiating, stating plainly, "I thought they were grabbing and holding us. It's a rugby match, and my team doesn't want to play rugby back.